life with both Bam and Jimmy is pretty simple, but life with one of Jimmy and Bam is also shown to be pretty simple. As I've talked about in the past, it's just a lot of mid post play, mostly with Bam out and Jimmy in. They run a lot of stuff through him in the mid post, and it's worked out pretty well. Just simple offense with a lot of off ball actions on the weak side. Uh, but it was interesting seeing yesterday the things they were running without Bam and without Jimmy. Uh, they've been doing a lot of things within PJ Tucker and his playmaking kind of expansion has really helped them in that area. But it was interesting. I just want to go through some of the plays that uh, they did some interesting things that I really haven't seen yet that could actually work well when you just surround guys with a bunch of shooters on the floor, which you're not going to have a much when you have Jimmy and Bam playing. But this is just for the time being, some things that they went to. And I think they're probably going to use it a little bit more moving forward. This was the main one that really worked out well, as we see right here. They always give that entry pass into the guy in that high mid post that I talk about, always by that wing three. It's what they do every time. If you don't see Jimmy or Bam in the starting lineup, this is probably going to be a base in their offense. It's going to be worked through PJ, and it's going to be worked through Kyle. So they kind of balance those two often. Now Tyler inserts to him. You're going to see him loop back. The interesting thing about this is the part I was talking about on Twitter yesterday during the game is they basically line four guys up on the weak side right here while the guy has it on the wing three. The fact that PJ can basically be that playmaker that we labeled him as offensive limitations is pretty wild. Four guys on the weak side now. Now they're going to send probably a bunch of times they were sending like two flares with the two shooters, and the other two guys would set the off-ball screens. This time, Tyler's the screener for Strus to end around, and then Hero, as we see, will rise up. So Hero rises up to the top of key as a safety valve. Strus shoots off to that backside for a handoff to send to Strus. They usually do. PJ gets the wide open floater. It's just easy offense, simple things they can do. Now, speaking of Kyle being able to do it as well, we see Kyle come through it. Duncan swings through, as I was talking about. Silva's setting an off-ball screen. Now they flow into a pick and roll. The interesting thing is when they switch like this, it's a little bit tougher because you can't really make the same exact reads, especially when they're hounding Tyler in this way. So as I go back one more time, they switch this pick and roll. Tyler just has to keep the dribble alive. He hits Duncan. Duncan actually misses this shot, but it's a decent look. And it's the reason why you can basically run this offense when you have limited players, limited top players on the team. You just utilize your shooters. You get shots up, and that's a good look. That's a shot Duncan will take. That's a shot Spo will take, and it's a shot every guy on the team will take. Now, this last play, this was an inbound, and this is basically the opposite of what they did on the weak side. This is how you kind of manipulate defenses in a way where you kind of flip things completely. As you see right here, it just looks like a simple pick and roll. Omer slips, and right now we see instead of there being four guys on the weak side, now it's Tyler bringing the ball to the strong side, and there's four guys on the strong side. The thing about that is now the defense is so focused on this side of the floor that as you see on the bottom of the screen, Omer Yurtseven, they forget about him because they're just so worried about this side and they're so worried about Tyler because Tyler's seeing a bunch of bodies all night. So I go back one more time. They're blitzing him. Tyler makes the completely right read because he cannot turn and make that pass. He knows there's going to be a guy open. All he does is swing this to Max Strus, and Max Strus is an extremely smart basketball player that he knows what to do with it. Once he gets it, he hits Max Strus. Max Strus can swing it inside to Omer for an easy dunk. It's just about manipulating defenses, and it seems like, as we talked about before with Spo, he can do more with these type of lineups, these type of teams when they're down and they don't have a bunch of top-level talent. He can really just be creative with the offensive sets that he runs, and this was basically one of the bases that they went through.